We're joined by Herb Sewell. He is a talent manager, operates a business in Hollywood that has some 27 employees. Herb, Governor Schwarzenegger of the state of California has had to take a course on sexual harassment, as have other members of his senior staff.
That's my understanding, Phil.
So it looks like the governor's, maybe his alleged past behavior's catching up to him?
Well, as well it should be. Sexual harassment in the workplace costs upwards of $300 million a year in lost man hours due to litigation, retraining, and so forth. Any hint of it in any business, such as the one that I operate, or any business, is unacceptable and should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And all of the men in our office, for instance, have been told they must take a mandatory 2-hour course on preventing sexual harassment and recognizing it in the workplace.
Now, the women in your office are not required to take a sexual harassment course, correct?
Women are welcome to take it, Phil, if they'd like to, but no, it's not mandatory for women.
And why is that?
Because it is my belief, and this is, by the way, backed up by any number of psychological evaluations and reports, that women are fundamentally incapable of truly sexually harassing men.
All right, Herb,
Now, before you say anything, let me explain this, because I know it's a little controversial, but I can back this up.
Because there have been claims that women have sexually harassed men.
There may have been claims, but women are fundamentally incapable of really sexually harassing men. Understand that the definition of sexual harassment includes a manager or supervisor making a job benefit available only when an employee agrees to some kind of sexual behavior or acquiesces with sexual behavior. Women, you have to understand, have worked a very long time to get to where they are today. They have worked very hard to break the glass ceiling. They have worked a long time to get into management positions they are likely not stupid enough to jeopardize that. It is very, very unlikely that women are going to be that stupid to jeopardize what it's taken their gender many, many decades to achieve by harassing behavior toward an underling.
Well, and so by logical extension, you're saying men have jeopardized their employment because they are not acting intelligent.
Men are used to having control and having power, and it's a pitfall. And they stumble into sexually harassing females because they aren't thinking.
And yet, men have filed sexual harassment complaints against female supervisors.
Well, it stands to reason that men would do that, partly because they are stung by the charge that they have sexually harassed someone themselves, and, partly by maybe unconscious desire that something like this happens to them. It's wishful thinking, because I say it's been my experience that women don't engage in this kind of behavior.
All right, well, some men, though, have won sexual harassment cases, haven't they?
I'm sure that is the case, but they don't connote that sexual harassment takes place. That simply connotes society's prejudice in wanting to believe that it's possible a few very talented women have lost promising careers because some bureaucrat at the Fair Employment Commission wants to maintain the good old boy network.
Herb Sewell is my guest. We're talking about sexual harassment courses that men are being asked to take, and that in your place of business, women don't have to take them because you believe women cannot sexually harass men. So men wind up being the real offenders.
Yes, that is my experience.
All right, I'm going to give our phone number out, and then I want you to give us your experience. The number is 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. You've said your experience a few times. What do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean is I've been in the professional world since I was 19 years of age. First as an actor, later in talent management, working as an agent, and finally owning my own agency. And through all of those 40 years, I personally have never once been subjected to any sexually harassing behavior by any female supervisor that I've had at that time. And believe me, in the early years, when I worked in mailrooms, we had executive secretaries, we had office managers, and so on. I've never been harassed by a female. And the
all right, what does that mean, that you've never personally...
Well, let me finish, because... And here is the very pivotal and very important piece of information. I am considered to be, by many women, to be rather handsome. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it, but I've been told by women, by girlfriends, that they find me very, very attractive. And I've been married a half a dozen times, so I'm not proud of that, but obviously I don't have a problem attracting women.
Okay.
And yet I've never been sexually harassed in the workplace. And I was talking to a friend of mine about that, and she said, it stands to reason, because of how good-looking you are, and I also have I suppose because of the way that I was raised. My father was in the United States Air Force, and I was raised around the world. I've developed I suppose I have a grasp of restaurants and wines and things and things that women appreciate. And so this friend of mine said, it stands to reason if you've never been sexually harassed because of how good-looking I am and cultured I am, then women may not be the sexually harassing creatures that we'd like them to believe. Now, this is very important for a couple of reasons. Number one, if anyone in the workplace is going to get sexually harassed, you imagine it's going to be someone who is very good-looking. I'm good-looking, and I've never been sexually harassed. That's number one. Number two, if a man is going to be sexually harassed in the workplace, it certainly isn't going to be someone who is so uncultured that he's wearing the Mickey Mouse T-shirt in the mailroom or this sort of thing. I have, as I mentioned, been raised in a manner where I know the right wines to purchase. I know good restaurants. Again, I've never been sexually harassed.
All right, so you never had a woman come on to you for sex?
When I was an underling, yeah.
Never come on to you for sex in the workplace.
Right. Now, that is important, but it's also very important to understand that it doesn't make sense that women would sexually harass men when they stand to lose so much. And men are a bit more cavalier about performing the odd bit of sexual harassment because they know deep down that their jobs are more secure because they're men, so they don't really, doesn't bother them as much.
Does this bespeak some morality on the part of the women? On the part of women?
I think it bespeaks a great deal of willpower. They value their position. When you have a very attractive young man in the office, and you don't want to come onto him sexually, you must have great willpower. And I've been told by a couple of women that I did work for that it took a lot of willpower not for them to put their hands on me or this kind of thing. And
but we're not really talking about you.
And I don't want to talk about me, but I'm just saying, because of my, for instance, when I was working in the mailroom, I didn't just wear jeans and I didn't wear a T-shirt. I tried to come to work every day wearing a suit. I tried to come to work every day wearing nice cut of clothes. And I was cologne and this kind of thing. I was manicured. And yet women didn't sexually harass me. That must mean they have the willpower, if you will, of a Saddam Hussein not to come on to me.
All right, Herb Sewell with us. Our number is 1-800-449-8686. Men are taking sexual harassment instruction in the workplace, but he's not requiring his female workers to do it because he says that they're not capable of sexual harassment. Now, look, we know that some women have been sued for sexual harassment. I don't know how many. Herb says, well, sure, they are sued, and sometimes they even win, but it's impossible for a woman to sexually harass a man because they've been through too much to get the jobs they have to actually engage in this. His own experience is that he has been told he's a very handsome man and that he is very, refined and all that, and yet no women have sexually harassed him. And if any man was going to get sexually harassed, it would be Herb Sewell. Herb Sewell is my guest. He is basically the operator, the owner of a talent agency. You have 27 employees, Herb, did you say? Or some are
27 employees, that includes other agents as well as personnel, yeah.
And we're talking about sexual harassment. Now, you say that it is impossible for women. You say impossible for a woman to sexually harass a man?
I believe that it is. I'll tell you, it would be difficult for me to believe had I not, down through the years, experimented and looked at this. I've looked very much into the issue of sexual harassment. I was on two governors' panels of sexual harassment in the workplace. I also worked in association, or in conjunction, rather, with the Department of Labor on this subject 10 years ago when under the presidency of President Clinton. And just in my own work experience, I once, about 20 years ago when I was working still as a young agent, I once left the top 4 buttons on my shirt wide open to see if my supervisor at that time, was actually not a supervisor, she was the lead agent in the agency that I was working for, and she didn't even give me a second glance. Now, I've got, as I said, I'm a handsome man. I suppose you could say I've got a lot of chest hair, and women are particularly weak for that kind of thing. But I left the buttons open, and somebody commented, why do you have your shirt on? I said, it's a very hot day, and it was a very hot day. But I opened the shirt wide to try to show my chest. And, but when I can say the word nipple, or...
Yes, of course you can say that.
Well, you can see both of my nipples and this sort of thing. And nothing. Now, I am a very attractive man. I took this information, I sort of collated it, I put it in with all the other things that I knew, and when I did go to work for the Department of Labor, these are the things that are sort of factored in to our study.
All right, 1-800-449-8686 with Herb Sewell. Here's Meredith. Go ahead, Meredith.
You are absolutely insane to think that women women cannot sexually harass men.
Well, have you ever sexually harassed a man?
I have not sexually harassed any men.
Well, then
but
you don't
I have
really know.
witnessed
It's apocryphal. It's apocryphal.
It's crazy. Women wake up every day and they make themselves look as good as possible, just like he does.
Not to sexually harass a man. To look good in business is one thing, and that is not sexual harassment. You need to understand the definition.
No, that's
it's certainly
true,
the same thing when a man gets out of bed in the morning, he puts on a nice suit and tie or whatever he does. He tries to look presentable. He tries to even look attractive. But it doesn't mean that he is sexually coming on any more than the woman is. Now, we're talking about how do you then explain, if you say you've seen it, I've never been sexually harassed.
Just because you have never been sexually harassed does not mean that it doesn't happen to men. I've watched women reach out. I actually, at a company that I did work for a time, I watched my manager reach out and grab the bottom of one of my coworkers.
Well, that's at a party or something like that? Or were they boyfriend and girlfriend? Were they boyfriend and girlfriend?
No, they were not. In fact, it was my boyfriend she reached out and grabbed.
Well, I would very much question what kind of relationship they had.
What does that mean?
Well, I think Meredith probably wasn't aware of the nature of their relationship. But I will tell you this: I have never been sexually harassed, and I've never met your boyfriend.
Just because you leave your shirt open doesn't mean that women are going to gravitate towards you. I'm not saying that you're not an attractive man, but that's a crazy thought. I personally don't find chest hair attractive, and if I saw a man with chest hair hanging out, I wouldn't look twice either.
Well, listen, people have compared me to Tom Selleck, and no woman has ever sexually harassed me. Now, how do you figure that?
Selleck.
How do you figure that?
Sir, Tom Selleck has a mustache that looks like a caterpillar grew on his face.
Well, I don't know. What does your boyfriend look like? What does your boyfriend look like? See, in other words...
Well, are we getting off the point here?
No, I don't even know. Just before I was...
Just because you have not been sexually harassed doesn't mean that it doesn't happen to other men.
Well,
and it happens on a regular basis.
It stands to reason that if I am good looking and I've never been sexually harassed, in 30 years of business, what are you talking about? See, so
that doesn't stand to reason either. Why would you make yourself the cornerstone of all of mankind?
Is that what you're doing, Mr. Sewell? That you may be talking about yourself as if you were the gold standard?
Well, not that I'm the gold standard, but this was brought up to me by a woman. I didn't think of this. One of my girlfriends said to me, and it was at a time where she might have been, I suppose you say, emotionally weakened. We had made love, and she said, "My God, how is it you've gone 40 years without one of your supervisors, female or male," she said, "female or male, trying to stick their hand down your pants or something like that?" And I said, I don't know. I think it's because the women don't do it.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. John, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
This is John.
Yes,
I'm a psychological profiler for the federal government. I've got 26 years on the job with NSA.
Sure you are, John.
Okay. Yeah, well, let me tell you something first.
Sounds nice.
Okay, for a man, for a guy who's been there, let other people talk,
let other people speak.
All right, let other people speak. The fact that you've been married 6 times doesn't tell me you're that good looking. But let me tell you your story. First of all, women don't necessarily sexually harass for sex. They can sexually harass because they're lonely. They can sexually harass because they're insecure. They've gone through a divorce. They're going through trying times. They're going through emotional turmoil.
Well, are you a psychologist? You're not a psychologist.
Sexual harassment. You are basing sexual harassment on strictly sex.
Well, sir,
you are saying sexual harassment is based on the fact that you're a good-looking guy with chest hair.
Yes,
and I'm telling you, I have witnessed and interviewed hundreds of people, women, who have sexually harassed men with top security clearances, and I can verify this.
Well,
it had nothing to do with sex. It had to do with emotional insecurity.
Can I ask a question at some point, Mr. Hendrie?
Sure, go right ahead.
Just because this man calls up and claims that he could claim that he's Captain Kirk from the Federation of Planets. Am I supposed to believe that, or I don't understand?
All right, that's a very good point. Can I respond to that?
Well, hold on a minute. And secondly, I had a two-part question. That was the first part. The second part is, you've never met me, so you don't know how handsome I am. But I've been compared to the guy in that suntan commercial. I can't remember his name now.
Well, look, the point is being... The point that's being made...
Godzilla, right, okay. Well, if you want to get off your cuties...
I'm not trying to do insulting.
Should I call you Ephraim Zimbalist Jr.?
No, let me just tell you, Herb, let me tell you something.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me something.
The point that you're making is that women sexually harass based on sex. That is not true, Herb.
Yes.
That is not true. The fact that you have never been sexually harassed is great for you. That does not necessarily mean that some fat slob out there... First of all, men, in the cases that I've interviewed, men typically who are sexually harassed do not want to report it for ego reasons. They do not want to report sexual harassment because they feel that it's less than manly.
How do you explain that before I was able to open my own agency, I worked for this woman. She was very powerful. She was a very powerful talent agent in New York and very beautiful. She walked by my office one afternoon. It was a very hot afternoon. The sun was shining through the window. It was very hot. And I do this every now and then, just to experiment with this theory that I have. So I took my shirt off, and I started doing push-ups. And I'm going to tell you something, and this is fascinating. She just kept right on walking. Now, I find that to be fascinating. And
well, what were you expecting? Was she going to come in?
Well, ordinarily... And again, it sounds like I'm an ego case, and I'm not. But ordinarily, if I do that, a woman's going to stop and want to talk, make a comment on my back hair or something that she finds attractive. But this woman kept right on walking. So I remember I got up and I went over to my desk and I made some notes about that experience. And I brought all of this to the Clinton administration, to the Department of Labor when I was working in that presidency.
Herb Sewell is the owner of his own company, but also has done studies on sexual harassment in the workplace. He compels his male employees to take sexual harassment courses, not the women. Because of your studies and your experience, you don't think women can sexually harass men. Correct.
That is absolutely correct, Phil. And I want to mention my experience at the Department of Labor.
All right, let me give our phone number out, 1-800-449-8686. We'll get back to phone calls. But you mentioned that you did a study some, 10 years ago?
Yes. We hired actors to test female CEOs. What we did was this. And it was a paradigm that we used in all of our testing. We set up hidden cameras in the workplace. And we literally had actors go in and apply for a job in much the same way you might see on television and candid camera, only this is deadly serious business of ascertaining sexual harassment in the workplace. Now, these actors were all very talented young men, very handsome young men with Chippendale dancer experience, this kind of thing. As the interview took place, we had men lean over the women's desk or touch themselves on their leg or lick their lips seductively, and not once did one of these female CEOs make an advance. Now, how do you explain that? It's easy. Women are all about business in the workplace. Yes, they can be attracted to a man, but they don't do anything inappropriate. And
well, you heard that other caller. She reached over and grabbed the guy's rear end.
Well, I didn't want to say anything to that young lady, but it sounded to me that woman, that so-called supervisor, and that young lady's boyfriend had perhaps a more, shall we say, significant relationship than she wanted to, to admit to.
All right, 1-800-449-8686 with Herb Sewell here on sexual harassment. Here is Melody. Melody, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to let him know, he says he's got all this hair on his chest and that and the other. I think chest hair is ugly. I think
well,
hair is ugly.
I don't know I have any idea what you look like, but I can assure you that most women find it very attractive.
Well, not every woman has the same opinion. There's a lot of women.
Fine. I mean,
there's a lot of women in this world that do not like chest hair.
I'm talking about quality women. And
I'm a quality person. Excuse me,
ma'am. With all due respect, you sound as if you're missing some teeth. Literally.
We don't need to say that.
Well, I'm detecting that in the lady speaking, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm very sorry. But
I've had a cold. Excuse me, but I am a very articulated person.
You're articulated?
I'm a very articulated person. I have very many fine qualities about me.
Well, the proper use of the word is articulate, not articulated.
I didn't ask you to be my professor.
Well, I have to because you use the word properly. And I can assure you.
And another thing, you're ha-ha and ho-ho, and you sound like Beavis and Butthead on the HBO show.
Well, I think that speaks to your kind of culture. Beavis and Butthead? I can tell you.
No, I do not watch them.
I can tell you
children do.
The women that I associate myself with do not have
I do not watch them.
those
my teenage children do.
Well, be that as it may, dear. I'm not making Beavis and Butthead comparisons.
And another thing, if I had seen a person take off their clothes or shirt and exercise like that in the office place, I would wonder where he cracked his head at.
You would have what? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You would have what?
I would wonder where you cracked the head at. There's places to exercise, and an office is not doing it.
Well, can I ask you, are you familiar with the modern professional workplace, or are you just familiar to going in the back and getting another case of Charmin out? Because I don't know.
I do billing in a trucking company.
I'm sorry? You do what?
I do billing in a trucking company. I see people all day long.
Did you say she does bowling in a trucking company?
She's billing. She's accounting.
I see. Well, a trucking company is quite different from a talent agency in Hollywood, California. But I would say this.
And another thing.
Yes?
When you want to exercise, you go to a place to exercise. And the only reason a lot of me and my friends do not sexually harass a man, because we have more respect for our person than to lower ourselves to their standards.
Well, I can tell you, Melody, that I respect that. And if I were you, I would see to getting your back molars replaced because...
Why?
I got a whole mouthful. Excuse me?
Well, you got a whole mouthful of what? I don't...
Teeth.
All right, I just...
What do you say?
I think
I'm telling you...
You just don't like criticism, and I'm sorry
about your... No, I don't mind the criticism, but you have to understand
just do not like criticism. You don't think that you should be criticized because you think you're that and all that and a piece of cake, too. I don't think so.
Well, Melody, you've never met me, and I can assure you, had you met me, you would be very interested in going to bed with me.
I don't think so.
Well, how do you know that?
Really, in fact, I know not.
Well, I don't understand. But the point is,
because I don't like hearing men.
Well, the point is, it's not whether you go to bed with me. It's the big question is, would I with you? And
I don't think you're up to my standards.
Herb, you're talking about not sexually harassing people, and you're being very personal with this lady.
No, she's claiming that she doesn't like this, she doesn't like that. Well, I'd have to say to her, well, what makes you the big prize? I mean, I'm listening to her saying things, and I suppose it's fine that she bulls or whatever she does. But I'm talking about young ladies, who have a taste and style, and the Paris Hilton style. Have you seen Paris Hilton on TV, Melody?
No, I don't like the show. I do billing, computer, data entry, not billing.
All right.
Billing.
Melody, thank you for calling. 1-800-449-8686. I don't know what you mean about the teeth.
She sounded... You're kidding, right?
No.
She sounded as if she was missing, unless I'm wrong about that.
Chris, did that lady sound like she didn't have any teeth?
Well, what was it that I was hearing? I was hearing kind of like a lateral lisp of some kind. I don't know what that was.
I don't know, and I don't care. But she was making a point about your desirability based upon at least your personality, which she didn't like.
Well, let's get back to the reality here. Part of the studies we did, and this is a 4-year study that we did over a period of 4 years, where we would take young male actors, and pour a glass of water down their chest. Now, you ask, why would we do that? Because women love to see a man whose chest glistens and sweats and this sort of thing. Now, I have at odd times done that in my own office when I wasn't owning... I don't do this anymore now, but when I wasn't owning my own agency, I would pour water down my chest and sit at my desk with the door open as if I had just been in a fight or something. And no women reacted. And I made a note. I made a note on some splash cards I had in front of me. Today I sat at my desk and I had this water, as I said, and there's no reaction. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about.
All right, 1-800-449-8686 with Herb Sewell. Randy, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show. Randy?
Yeah, hey, where are you getting off on all this stuff? I own my own company. I've worked for companies that have major employees, and I tell you what, we've seen women that came on to guys.
What do you mean you own your own company and you've seen women who came on to guys? First of all,
I own my own company, same as you, but I've got to tell you, buddy, I've seen women come on, the supervisors, they've dumped their husbands and everything else. That's sexual harassment.
Well, then why didn't you report them?
That or not?
Why didn't you report them?
As far as the rest of the stuff goes,
wait a minute, he's got a good question here.
You're on a big ego trip, buddy.
Randy.
You're pouring water on your chest, you're doing all sorts of stuff in the workplace. How about getting back to work?
Well, can I ask you something, Randy? Can I ask you something?
Really sick,
if you've seen this behavior, why didn't you report it?
Why didn't I report it? I'm the boss, and I have to take care of this type of behavior. I have to go to these employees and knock this stuff off.
I thought you had to go to the police or something.
It happen in the workplace, and I have to stop it, and I have to make policies for it. But you're telling me this doesn't happen.
Now, what I'm saying is...
It does happen in the workplace. It happens with men, and it happens with women.
Wait a minute. Well, hold on for a minute.
Human nature. What's wrong with you?
Hold on for a minute. I, over the course of a 4-month period, poured water down my chest and kept the door of my office open, and I'd even nick my neck to show a little blood trickling down. Women are attracted.
I got to tell you, partner, what is wrong with you doing this type of stuff in the workplace? The workplace is not made for this. You're one of the problems.
No, I'm doing this as a part of a study for the Department of Labor on...
Oh, come on, buddy. Who's paying you to do this? This your own company you're doing this for?
Yes, sir. It's just part of my own research.
Let me tell you, you ought to spend more time on sales and something, because I tell you what, you're doing nothing but trying to bait women.
No, I want to see whether women can sexually harass men. It is my conclusion that they do not.
So you can have a study.
No, they do not.
You are baiting these people.
But the point is, Randy, that they do not, and I can tell you
with men and women, without people like you trying to set it up.
And just because a woman asks a man for a date doesn't mean that it's sexual harassment. You don't know what sexual harassment is. I do. And I have never seen a woman sexually harass me.
You're a funny man.
And I had water and blood coming down my neck and everything.
Oh, boy.
Listen, I put on a pair of Lycra tights with my bare chest.
You don't know what sexual harassment is.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know about women? Do you know women? Do you know women? Okay. I used to put on a pair of Lycra tights with my bare chest and do the splits in my office. Is the gentleman there?
He's probably hung up. And so what?
What do you mean, so what? Not one woman comes on to me? What's that about? Are you kidding?
Well, are they supposed to?
Let me repeat it again, and I'll do it slowly for you. I put on Lycra tights with no shirt on and did the splits. See, if you don't... I understand there are women out there listening to me right now, and this is the interesting thing. Most women don't have a lot of courage when it comes to what attracts them. I know what attracts a woman. And I'm also saying something very positive about women. They don't sexually harass men. Whether I tossed my hair and kept my mouth in the O position, whether I did splits in Lycra tights, whether I poured water down my chest and sat staring into space, as if I'd just been in a fist fight. All of these things are designed to attract a woman, and yet not one of them came on to me. I find that fascinating.
All right, Herb, thank you very much, but I really got to get going.
Really? Why?
Because I'm getting frightened, and I don't... This is nothing personally against you, but I am getting frightened.
But you're frightened of me.
I am a little bit frightened of you, and I want to just kind of conclude this portion of the hour. Jesus. We're back with Herb Sewell, who believes that sexual harassment doesn't take place, that women don't sexually harass men. Robert, go ahead. You're on with Herb Sewell. Robert?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, pal. Quickly.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment that, that women do sexually harass in the workplace.
Well, it's never been my experience. Has it been your experience, Robert?
Yes. I was sexually harassed by a young female when I was in a supervising position.
And she was your underling? She was your employee?
She was the employee.
What were you doing to her? What were you doing to her?
Oh, I wasn't doing nothing to her.
Well, what do you mean you weren't doing anything? You heard what I put on Lycra tights, I do splits, these kinds of things. Have you done that?
No, I never done anything crazy like that.
You call that crazy? So, was your chest dabbed with water, or what we call dabbled with water, anything like that?
No.
Well,
I was listening to the other guy's comment, and, you need to get back to work, because you got that much time on your hands.
Well, I'm just trying to ascertain what sex harassment is. A lot of times what I like to do is I'll do chin-ups at the door of my office. And one of the things you can tell if a woman's, will come on to you, she just
pour water on you.
Like that when you're doing a chin-up. Women love that. If they don't come on to you after you do that, then women can't sexually harass you. And as far as that girl was that you were saying was your underling, brother, I'd be all over that.
Okay, the guy's a sick. You're at Ascot right now?
I'm watching some of Demolition Derby.
Okay, we're on the air right now. Dr. Herb Sewell is with us to talk about the difficulty most women have of admitting to themselves that their ex-husbands were not only bad husbands, but also bad fathers. Dr. Sewell, welcome back to our program.
Always my pleasure, Phil.
You did a talk, you kind of did a talk show and a psychology advice show for several years over on KFI, locally in Los Angeles. You've also authored a very controversial opinion piece in the LA Times where you say, and I'm quoting directly from this article, women complain constantly about their ex-husbands not spending more time with the children, about their ex-husbands not taking the children more often on weekends and holidays. When are they going to admit that they are at fault, not the ex-husbands? End quote. How do you say that the women are at fault if their ex-husbands don't have more to do with the kids?
Well, Phil, because they are at fault, and they can't admit it. Because to admit it means that they're the ones that made the mistake of not only being able to pick a decent husband, but even worse, because it affects the lives of children, they couldn't pick a man to be a decent father. And the women who complain about their ex-husbands not paying child support, not spending time with the children, they're basically admitting that when it comes to picking men and husbands, as husbands and fathers, they're losers. And it is their bad judgment that consigns generations of children to fatherless wandering, gang membership, and antisocial behavior.
Well, you called the article Women Blame Yourselves, and there are statistics here. Only 20% of all fathers remain involved with their children 5 or more years after divorce, meaning most men don't remain involved with their kids after they've divorced or are divorced from the women. You say that's the woman's fault.
Well, if you do the math, that means 80% of all women involved in divorce with the father of their children have no judgment at all when it comes to picking a decent father for the children. It is a staggering, and I want to say a staggering amount of stupidity on the part of women. Now, this affects child support payment. When a woman goes into a court of law and she says, I want X number of dollars a month for child support, why isn't the judge querying her more honestly, about why should you get more child support when it was you who picked this imbecile, basically, as a father?
Well, all right, now you mentioned that you have 3 children who live with their mother?
That is correct, yeah.
Your ex-wife is an attorney?
Yes, my children's mother is Valerie Ryder. She's an attorney specializing in family law. She's a very brilliant woman.
Well, how often do you see your kids?
Well, that is my point. I don't see my children hardly at all. And when we drew up the custody papers, this is a great example of what I'm talking about. I made sure that I wasn't going to get sucked into a weekly or bi-weekly visitation thing. I see my kids only once a month, and that's for 2 overnights. And their mother has to make the arrangements to pick them up. Also, on top of that, I have recently made some very angry phone calls to her because the kids have told me about some new man she's seeing, and it's caused me a great deal of jealousy. So you've got 2 things in my case, and this is what I'm talking about. I don't really want to see my children all that much because I'm very busy, and yet I harass my wife about her personal relationships.
So you don't see the kids, you harass your ex-wife over who she's dating?
Yes, well, I don't harass her, I criticize. I don't see the children. I'm an example of what I'm talking about. I'm an example of what I'm talking about. My ex-wife, Valerie, not only picked a bad husband when she married me, and I was a bad husband. We were married for 5 years. We had 2 sons in that time. I was unfaithful to her numerous times. But she also picked a terrible father for her children. I'm not too busy, I'm not too busy to go out and have drinks with friends, but I'm too busy to be involved in my son's lives, and I have to say I'm not that interested because she's badgered, as most women will, she's badgered me into having these children, having these children with me, and I don't want to pay more child support to her for her mistake. That's why we're going to court. And that's why I believe the state of California should definitely finally come to terms with the fact that women marry men who turn out to be lousy fathers, so they made that mistake. They married a man who turns out to be a lousy husband, they made that mistake. And yet, we the men have to pay for the mistake the wife made.
Okay, it's a different way of looking at it.
Well, it's a different way of looking at it, Phil. It's also, I think, a very honest way of looking at it.
So in your article, you explain to women how they can take that responsibility, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Our number is 1-800-449-8686. 1-800-449-8686. Women who pick terrible fathers, women who pick terrible men to be fathers and husbands, why do they then get to go into court and ask for more child support? You're saying it's a mistake they made, they ought to live with it.
I'm sorry, Phil?
You're saying that this is a mistake that the women made, they should live with it.
Absolutely. Women make this mistake of picking a man to be the father of their children because he's sexy in bed, which I understand was my wife Valerie's major reason for marrying me. She even said that I was a great lover. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be a faithful husband or a good father.
All right, so you do explain in your article how women can take responsibility.
Well, we try and help women. We try to help them make better decisions when it comes to the men in their lives. We have 2 workshops that we conduct in Malibu on weekends. I've got three PhDs involved, and all of us are men who do not want much to do with our own children. We also cheated on our wives. So we can show the women who were there, how they made one imbecilic mistake after another. And by the time the women walk out of our workshop 3 weeks later, they can say, with complete honesty, I was a stupid woman. I can't pick a husband. I can't pick a father for my children. Therefore, I put my children in jeopardy.
Now, you say that there are some exceptions to this rule.
Well, there are exceptions.
What do you mean exceptions to the rule? Women who didn't make the mistake, or?
Well, Phil, when the father realizes that though he isn't much interested in staying in touch with his kids, once he is divorced from their mother, the fact that she could be so stupid as to pick him for a father probably means the children will be the victim of other ignorant mistakes. And so we do have a lot of fathers who want to stay involved with the children. But they only want to stay involved with the children because they're afraid the children are at risk with the mother.
And that feeling of the children being at risk with their mother is that he realizes she was so dumb she picked a bad husband and a bad father so she may make other bad mistakes?
That is correct, because he doesn't want them spending any more time than necessary with their mother, that's all. So put it all together in what have you got? You've got an awful lot of unfair child support payments being made. You have an awful lot of men out there who are being unfairly targeted by the courts to pay more money when, in point of fact, it was the mistake made initially by the woman for marrying a man that wasn't a good father. He would not have to pay child support. To put it another way, Phil, he would not have to...
Well, he wouldn't have to pay child support payments if she hadn't married him.
That is right. He would not be liable for the support of children if she had been so stupid as to pick him for a husband and a father. And so that's... and the judicial system needs to step in and start to see who is really to blame in these broken relationships. 90% of the time, it's the woman for being so clueless, so utterly without a connection to the real world, that she picks a lousy husband, a lousy father.
All right, our number's 1-800. You're at a demolition derby, I understand, at Ascot Raceway, and it doesn't sound that loud, but if it gets too loud, I'd ask you to move.
I'd be happy to do that, Phil.
All right, our number is 1-800-449-8686, 1-800-449-8686. Dr. Herbert Sewell with a proposal for the court systems to actually lower child support or eliminate it altogether for men because they're not the ones that made the mistake. The women that married them made the mistake in assuming they'd be good fathers. What if the guy is a good father?
Well, I'm not talking about those men. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those of us who don't want a lot to do with the children once we're divorced. I'm talking about...
And you readily admit to that.
Well, yes, I do. I love my sons, but that's as far as it goes. I'm very busy. I don't have a lot of time to spend with them. I realize that perhaps they'll grow up resenting me, and I realize that perhaps they won't have a good relationship with me. But that's not my fault. That's the fault of my ex-wife for asking me to father children for her. How could she be so stupid as to ask me? I've been cheating on her for 3... it's...
all right. In your court application, you're asking that your child support for your two sons be eliminated completely.
That is correct.
Don't you want to support your kids?
Well, I do, but I've got other things I'd like to do with the money.
Well, what do you say to people who say you just sound heartless?
Well, I'm not a heartless man. It's just that it's not my fault that I'm not a good father. I think I'm a good man. Even when the relationship is over, the woman will continue to push the man to be the father when we've fully admitted we're not good fathers. How stupid can you be? And it's not that I'm a bad man. I'm just not a good father. Why should I have to pay all of this?
Well, some people are going to say you fathered the kid, you paid for it.
But I didn't father the kid. I fathered the kid, yes, but I'm a bad father. She's the one that wanted me to do it. Yes, I fathered the kid, but I'm a lousy father. Do you understand?
Well, then why did you get married?
That's not the point. The point, You see, you don't understand what I'm saying. The point is not that I'm the one to blame. That's the game we've been playing. That she's the one to blame for being the imbecile that married me in the first place. And this is true of millions of American women and millions of American men.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Dr. Herb Sewell is with us. Proposal change to child support and the whole dynamic that we know as custody, and it's an ugly thing, divorce. But why do the men who have proven themselves to be, just the men who've proven themselves to not only be bad husbands but bad fathers, why should they have to pay? It was the woman's mistaken judgment in the first place that caused the whole thing. Women, as he says in his article, blame yourselves. Herb Sewell is with me, Dr. Herb Sewell, who's written an article in the LA Times called Women Blame Yourselves. If you want your husbands, your ex-husbands, to be better fathers, if you want them to come to the table with child support, maybe you should have made a better decision when it came to choosing the men to father your children and choosing men to be your husbands. It's an interesting point of view. You mentioned that you have 3 children. 3 children that you don't want to pay for, 3 children that you're not involved with. You readily admit that you're a bad father.
Well, I can give an example. So tonight I'm over at an automobile race, and I could be with my 3 sons, but I choose to spend it with a young lady who is a paralegal at one of the offices in our building. I don't think that speaks a very good father. So my wife picked a lousy man to be the father of her children. And what's even more tragic is that women refuse to see the signs of a bad father. For instance, my wife Valerie accepted the fact that I didn't show up at the hospital when our boys were born. I was in, and I don't say this with any pride, but I had been arrested that afternoon on a DUI, and I could not post bail until after my very first son was born. And to be honest with you, it didn't bother me.
You missed the birth of your first son because you were arrested for DUI.
That is correct. And if you say, well, that makes you a very bad man, Mr. Sewell, I would say yes. I would say that I agree with you. You know, how much more can I make it clear? I'm not capable. I was never home for dinner. I golfed every weekend. I proved I didn't care. Do women need to have a sledgehammer tick into their heads? It's their fault.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Let me go to Elizabeth here. Elizabeth, we're on the Phil Hendrie Show with Dr. Herbert Sewell.
I just want to say, that is so wrong for him to feel that way. You know, even though he feels pressured into having those kids are a part of him, and that must make them kids feel really, really, really bad.
I think so, and they should blame their mother. She's the one.
Yeah.
She's the idiot that picked me to be the father of those children.
No.
She's not? She was smart. No, it's not.
You're not that smart yourself. I don't care how
Well,
many
that may be fine, but the fact is, my wife should not be rewarded for being stupid.
Well, neither should you. I don't understand.
I'm not being rewarded. How am I being rewarded? How am I being rewarded?
Well, you're not having to pay for the kids.
But I never was a good father. It's time for women to understand that they have made huge mistakes in the way they choose their men. Are you married, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Well, good luck.
Well, I feel bad for your children.
What?
I really do, and you're not really that funny, just so you know.
Well, I can tell you I'm not trying to be funny, but if you're married to a man... What's that?
Go ahead.
I can't understand what she said. What'd she say?
What did you say, Valerie? Or Elizabeth?
Oh, she's in a truck.
Go ahead. I want to hear. If I'm married to a man, what?
Are you married to a man?
Yes, I'm married to a man.
All right. Well, good luck to you. You know.
Oh.
I mean, do you have any children?
No, not yet. But
well, may I suggest?
I hope your kids turn out to be a better man than you have.
Well, ma'am, I can tell you this. I hope and pray that before you have children with whatever it is you're married to, that you thoroughly check out the kind of man that he is. Otherwise, you're going to wind up begging him for child support. It's going to be a disaster. Look, even when my wife told me she was pregnant, I said, Valerie, I don't care. Do you understand what that means when your wife says...
You didn't say that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Oh. You're so arrogant.
No, I'm trying to show where women have been blithering idiots when it's come to how to pick men as fathers.
Okay. Did you voice your opinions before y'all got married? I mean, you didn't have to marry her.
Sure I did. I told her that I would probably make a very bad husband, but I was good in bed.
Seriously, I mean, that wouldn't make me marry a man.
Well, all right. I should have met you.
That was the whole reason.
Well, I wish I would have. I wish I would have met you instead of Valerie. But I like women who are. I like women that are educated.
You couldn't have gotten very far with me.
That's why you wouldn't have gotten to first base with me.
Exactly, and I wouldn't want to.
No, because.
But anyway.
Do you have any education?
Yes, I do. But anyway.
Where? I'm not talking about high school. I mean, did you get through college?
But anyway.
Does your husband do things without you? Because if he does, he probably doesn't want kids.
All right, listen, Elizabeth.
Never mind. Go back on your CB radio. I'm sure there's a good cockfight out there somewhere.
Elizabeth, thank you for your call. I would say to Dr. Sewell, sir, it's not important to put people down.
No, but you have to understand, this is a battlefield that I fight all the time. I tell people, I told my wife, she said to me, Herb, I'm pregnant. This is one of the happiest days of my life. And I said, that's nice. And I remember I took a handful of walnuts. We had a tray of walnuts. And I went into the living room and I pulled down a book that I enjoy called Young's Man and His Symbols.
You didn't rejoice with your wife over the possible birth of a first child?
No, I didn't. And so she knew right then. And yet it's my fault? Jesus.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. Jennifer, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show with Herb Sewell.
Yes. From what I'm understanding of what you're saying is that men shouldn't have to take responsibility for their actions, for things that they do. They're just as equally, they're just as equally responsible for making that kind of a decision.
If it's true, I think that we shouldn't have to pay as much child support as we do, because it was the woman who blew it by picking us as the father of their children. See, I think a judge should be allowed to question women as to just how intelligent they were at the time they made the decision. If it is established that she's a complete and utter idiot, why should the man be punished?
Well, why shouldn't the man come up and take responsibility for his actions?
I do take responsibility. I take responsibility for being a bad father. See, that's what catches you, Jennifer, and that's why most women can't argue with me about this.
A man makes those decisions, too. See,
right.
you could have just as easily said no
Tell you what, Jennifer,
to the proposal of getting married.
Why don't you hang on, Jennifer? Why don't you hang on, and we'll take a break. We'll be right back. 1-800-449-8686 with Dr. Herb Sewell on the mistakes that women have made. They should begin to take responsibility for them. It's the Phil Hendrie Show, but that's what I'm talking to the other people about.
I understand that.
And most of what is happening, we're going to be back on the air in, 30 seconds? Most of what is happening now is because of that FCC stuff.
And am I taking more phone calls?
We got Jennifer hanging on. I got a few more phone calls.
The young lady that I was speaking to before the break?
Yeah.
I think you need to bypass that call. I don't think she sounds very intelligent. I'm hoping you're going to get some more intelligent people.
I think most of the people that we have on are pretty intelligent, okay? But what I'm trying to say to you, we got 15 seconds to air.
I'm just trying to say to you, Phil, that most of the callers you've had tonight are imbeciles, and I don't think they understand what I'm saying.
Do yourself a favor and not say that to my callers. 10. We got 5 seconds. Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. I'm on here with Dr. Herb Sewell. His article in the Los Angeles Times has prompted some real outrage. Women, blame yourselves. And you have said basically it's women and their stupidity.
Well, I don't mean to say that women are stupid. I think women are eminently wonderful and beautiful people. But I think when they decide about men, they can be, in the case of my own wife, incredibly stupid.
All right, Jennifer, let me get back her. Hi, Jennifer, you're back on with us. I'm sorry that we didn't have much time for you. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I think he is just as equally as responsible, because he could have just as easily said no to marriage and said no to having children.
Well, that's true, but ultimately, I did say that I was a bad father, and I told her that I didn't care that she was pregnant. So there you go. Now I know that that's difficult for you to understand, but you can see the logic in my argument, and that's why. But you're intelligent.
You're saying it's okay for men not to take any responsibility for their actions. Is what you're saying.
No. I said I do take responsibility for my actions. I shouldn't have married this woman and shouldn't have become a father.
All right, hold on for 60 seconds. Station break. Jennifer, you hang on. Dr. Sewell, you hang on. We'll be right back here on the Phil Hendrie Show. All right, we're clear.
Am I going to keep talking to this broad?
There's 2 other people. How many calls we got holding? 4 calls?
Phil?
Yeah.
Am I still talking to this broad?
What broad is that?
The one that I'm talking to. Are you there?
Hold on for a minute. All right, we're back on the Phil Hendrie Show. Jennifer, go ahead.
Yes. I can't comprehend the fact that this man doesn't think he should take responsibility for children. He helped
create.
Oh, my God, I thought I already explained this. I do take responsibility for being a bad father. You know, my second son, Jonathan, came into my study. He said, Daddy, could you show me how to tie my shoes? And I said, you know, what? Your mother had you. I said, first of all, don't call me Daddy. Secondly, I don't want to show you how to tie your shoes. I was very clear and upfront with the child.
Well, why don't you do the world a favor, go to a doctor and have yourself fixed? It would probably make the world a better place.
Make myself sick?
Have yourself fixed.
No, have yourself fixed.
And we'll hold on for just a minute. Another 60-second station break. We'll be right back. 15-second break, so hold on.
Why don't you lose this woman that I'm talking to?
Well, I held her through a 5-minute break.
Well, she is the dumbest.
10 seconds, Phil.
10 seconds. We're back on the Phil Hendrie Show. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Yeah, if he can willingly admit that he's so horrible, then why didn't he just go to a doctor and have himself fixed?
I don't like to go to the doctor to get sick. I go to the doctor
to be fixed. You heard her.
I'm having some fun. You're right. It's a good idea, but I'm not that responsible. Don't you understand what I'm saying? Why don't I? I don't. That's why I'm saying to my wife, you're the one that blew it.
Oh.
And we'll be right back. We clear, Janice?
Yeah, 5.
5 seconds.
The woman you've got on the line, I think I'm going to vomit if I have to talk to her for 5 more seconds. And
I'm asking you to be patient with my callers.
I'm going to puke up everything I had for breakfast if I got to talk to this dumb broad 5 more seconds.
You're up, Phil.
All right, we're on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're back on the Phil Hendrie Show. We're going to wrap up, Jennifer. Any other comments?
No, I just cannot believe that there are people in this world that are like that. That's just disgusting.
Like my wife, you're absolutely right.
No, like you.
Are you still married?
I was happily married for 8 years.
Aha!
Fine and well. He was a great father and everything.
What happened?
He just up and disappeared one day, and nobody's been able to find him since.
Don't you feel stupid?
Why should I have? He was a good father. He was a good husband. He was there. He spent plenty of time with his children.
Why should you? He up and left. Don't you feel like an idiot?
How was I supposed to know 8 years down the road?
You made a very big mistake. You idiot.
All right. Thank you very much, Jennifer. We're sorry about that. What is it with you, man?
Are you kidding me? He up and left and disappeared, and we don't know where he is now, and it ain't my fault? God, I think there's a dog fight out there someplace.
Yeah, I get it. Here is Alyssa. Alyssa, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I just have 2 questions for your caller. One, if you knew you were a bad father when you had your first child, why did you continue to have children?
That's right. Why did I?
What is the purpose in having kids that you don't want?
There is none. That's how bad a father I was.
Okay.
I had no reason to have children, and I told my wife, I said, I'm going to have these kids with you, and I shouldn't, and you should know that I shouldn't, and you should know that. I don't want that one, and I don't want this one.
Okay.
And she said, oh, you'll feel better after little Timmy is born, or whatever she wanted to call him. I don't even know the second boy's name. That's how uninvolved I am. I know the first one is Roger or Rochester or something. I don't even know his name.
Are you trying to tell me you don't know the names of your boys?
No, I don't.
My second question is...
Why should I have to pay child support?
Hello?
Yes, I'm right here. Go ahead, Elise. I just watched the good fender bender here.
I just wonder if, you know what I'm saying, what about these kids, what about these men that are running around having all these kids and they know they're having these kids, but they don't do anything about it, so that's not their problem either?
Well, who would possibly have a child with an idiot like that? Only another idiot.
What, you know what I'm saying?
Are you married?
Are you listening to me?
Are you married, Ben?
No, I'm engaged.
Were you ever married?
Well, I've never been married.
All right, this is what I'm saying. Don't be an idiot.
I have this question for you. What about these men that are telling these women, oh, I want to be with you, I want to get married to you, I want to have kids with you.
Right.
Let's have a baby, we'll get married.
They're liars.
What about those men?
They're liars. They're liars, and the women should have known they were liars.
Wait a minute. These guys are saying, I want to have kids, let's have babies, then they have babies, and these guys up and leave.
Right. It's terrible. These guys are absolute scum. They don't make good fathers, and the woman should have
okay, and I'm asking, are you still saying it's not their fault?
Of course.
Are you still saying it's the woman's fault?
Of course it is. They should have known they were liars. Any man who says that simply wants sex. You should know that. But let me ask you something. The gentleman you're engaged to, does he want children?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Well, what does that mean?
You know
she's in trouble, but she doesn't want to listen to me, so that's
No,
right.
I'm not in trouble, though.
Oh, yeah, okay, sure, whatever you say.
Listen to me.
Whatever you say, sure.
And you know what I'm saying? My father was never involved in my life, and that wasn't a problem for me. And it's not going to be a problem for your kids either. That's just something that you're missing out on.
Ma'am, you know, that's fine. I don't mind missing out on it. I could care less whether those kids miss it.
But you shouldn't make the kids feel like it's their fault.
I don't want to know anything about them. I'm just simply saying to my wife, why do I have to pay for it? Now you're engaged to a guy who says that he wants to have kids? Good luck.
So in other words, he's lying too.
Oh, absolutely. But she doesn't want to listen.
We're just, I think I'm pretty well adapted. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 21-year-old college student. I'm a psychology major.
Okay, well,
you know what I'm saying?
Congratulations. But the guy who wants to have kids with you, he said that to 4 other women this week. So I'm just...
because we live together.
Thank you very much. How's the race?
It's great.
You're at a demolition derby rather than being with your own kids. What do you think of that, Elisa?
I just think it's bad that Spike can say that they don't want their own kids.
Why wouldn't a guy want to be at a demolition derby rather than having to feed some brat? Look at that. Look at that.
Cut him off.
But thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you very much,
I like it.
Wow.
Herb Sewell, it's all your fault. You should have known I was a lousy father. You're right. I suck. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show.
The Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686. Out of bounds.
KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk radio.
And now, here's Phil Hendrie. 1-800-449-8686.
Harvey Wireman, an attorney with a media watchdog group called Watch Over California. Mr. Wireman, the Dixie Chicks are not going away. Apparently, your organization feels that they're a bigger threat than just the comments they made about the president?
Well, the Dixie Chick singing group has been on our radar for a long time because not only are they prone to making these unpatriotic comments, but their stage show, which I don't think a lot of people are familiar with the stage show of the Dixie Chicks, but it has elements of pornography in it. There is allegedly nudity. There is some undressing on stage, sexually suggestive dancing. They undress each other.
We're talking about the group, the Dixie Chicks?
Yes, sir, again. And this patriotism thing.
So people know, we're talking about the comments they made that President Bush, they were ashamed they came from Texas. But you're saying something bigger. They're not just unpatriotic. Their show is pornographic?
Yes. The comments they made about Bush is plotting over a larger issue, Mr. Hendrie, and that is the essential immorality of the Dixie Chicks show. Now, they're performing tonight in Greensville, South Carolina, and I know that you have many listeners in the South Carolina portion of the country, and I would encourage you to tell your listeners that this show of the Dixie Chicks that they may be considering going to can be damaging to people who are offended by sex and smut.
Mr. Wyman, I want to interrupt. I am not familiar with the Dixie Chicks stage show. I've heard their music, and I've seen them interviewed.
Well, I've seen a lot of it.
Have you seen the show?
I beg your pardon?
Have you personally seen their show?
I'll tell you, Mr. Hendrie, I've been around. I've seen shows like it where these women will remove their clothes and rub it all over the place. I don't need to see filth to know what it is.
But you haven't seen it. We're talking about a musical group. right?
No, I know the groups you're talking about. That they're very notorious for their anti-Americanism, and they've also this very notorious stage show. And so,
yes, I have never heard this.
Well, again, you have to be familiar with the country music scene. You have to be following these groups as I do and as members of my group do. Now, they have this Miss Maines, who is the lead singer in this group. She's the one that made the comments about Bush. She takes her underwear off or something. Doesn't take her underwear off, but she removes some clothing and throws it into the crowd. It may be underwear. The people that we've interviewed who've been to these shows are sure that it is some kind of an undergarment. The tight pants and the revealing blouses are just the beginning of the filth that these three women throw on the American people night after night like a bucket of slop. And for
all right, I'd like to know where you're getting your information, because I have not heard that the Dixie Chicks have a pornographic stage show.
Phil, I've got a number of sources.
Well, name some names.
I've got Stan Stewart is a media critic in Canada. He's heard some things that are disturbing. I think these women are so lacking in talent, apparently, because they have to say insulting things about the president and then perform their country music songs and do it in a way like they're having sex in a barn or performing some kind of a sexual act near a rendering plant. And
well, if you've seen it for yourself, or if you haven't seen it for yourself, how can you say what they're doing, right? You have...
This is an argument a lot of you people in media give.
Well, when you say you people in the media, I think it's a valid argument. If you haven't seen this...
I don't need to see... Mr. Hendrie, I don't need to see the movie Deep Throat to know what it's about. I don't need to see... Jesus Christ nailed to the cross to know that he got nailed up there. And some things you don't need. I don't need to stick my hand in a bonfire.
But to make these specific allegations of smut and sex, what other sources do you have?
Look, I want to tell you something. Have you been to the Dixie Chick show?
No, sir, I have not.
Then you don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about people who have seen this show and have reported these things back to me. And I can tell you that the Chick show, the Dixie Chick show, has got it all. Every kind of smut.
All right, our number is 1-800-449-8686. We're talking with attorney Harvey Wireman with Media Over California, Media Watchdog Group. He says the Dixie Chicks, and you know that they made the comment about Bush, and it's been, much reported. That's blown over. He's saying, so you're not going after these ladies because of their so-called lack of patriotism?
No, that's never been the case for me with the Dixie Chicks. They've always... by the time the second song starts in their set, they're already removing clothing.
Are you talking to me about full nudity?
Well, when you talk about taking your clothes off, I don't know what else will happen but to be nude. So, again...
do you have and I want to...
You got a lot of questions, Mr. Hendrie, but I hope you're hearing what I'm saying.
Are you familiar with their music? I just was going to ask you.
I am familiar with their music.
Because they're a terrific group. Their ensemble singing is great. They have a couple of fiddle players. I think they got a fiddle player. One of the women plays fiddle. They're a fine act, and their music reflects a sort of an American sensibility. So if you were to say that they would strip on stage or do something...
Well, nobody's saying kids are welcome at a Dixie Chick show. Nobody says that. It's an adult show. But even some adults don't want to go in there and look at them being nude. And with all respect to these women, they are not the best-looking women in the world. And for them to remove their clothes or even suggest that they're going to remove their clothes on stage is offensive, I think, to any man who appreciates a beautiful woman having to look at that. Or even the hint or the threat of that.
All right. Harvey Wireman is our guest this hour. Have you, Janice, you're a country music fan. You seen the Dixie Chicks? Do they take their clothes off? No? Is it something they might have started recently? Is it something that they're doing? We have with us on the line Harvey Wireman from a media watchdog group about the Dixie Chicks. Just when you think that whole thing's going to blow over, this guy doesn't have a problem with them for the things they say. He says their show, and I took some notes, he says the show has, quote, elements of pornography in it, and there is apparently nudity in their show. Now, they are appearing tonight. I think this is the first night of their tour, isn't it? In Greensville, South Carolina. And this ought to be interesting. I think we have listeners in the Greensville area. Our number is 1-800-449-8686. You're familiar with that they are starting this tour, sir?
Yes, I am, Phil, and I'm very concerned about these women forcing their sex, the smut upon people that simply want to hear some music. I heard they do an encore where they will sit on the stools in their underwear playing their acoustic guitars with only the guitar covering the top portion of them. You see what I'm saying? So,
all right, that sounds like it's maybe an artistic piece.
Oh no, you can say a lot, and I think it degrades every artist to say that three women sitting stark naked on a stool is art.
I'm saying I can see maybe with the proper lighting that it would be a beautiful thing to see.
Well, I don't think three women sitting in their underwear and they help each other take their boots off. They don't even do an artful strip. They just take their clothes off as if they're undressing for bed. And for me, and for the millions of music fans and concert goers across America, this is an abomination in terms of the prurient value of it.
All right, 1-800-449-8686. That's the whole story. Dixie Chicks. Is their show pornographic? Is there some campaign out to get them? We'll see. Harvey Wireman of the Media Over California, a media watchdog group, saying that the Dixie Chicks show is pornographic. This is the Phil Hendrie Show. Our number 1-800-449-8686. We'll be right back.
The Phil Hendrie Show. 1-800-449-8686. He's still Jenny on the block. The Phil Hendrie Show is back.
Attorney Harvey Wireman is a part of a media watchdog group that is monitoring the Dixie Chicks. And are you getting a lot more? Publicity because of their comments about President Bush?
I would say, Phil, that the comments that the Dixie Chicks made about President Bush brought them to the forefront. But yes, yes, I would say we are. But we've been following these three women and the show that they put on, which has them rubbing, themselves on the mic stand. There's a part of the show where the man in the middle is the Natalie Maines. Is that her name?
I think she's the lead singer. Yeah.
She bends over and she rubs her rear end on the butt of the other girl who's playing the fiddle.
Well, maybe that's some kind of a harmless dance, but
Mr. Hendrie.
But the point I'm trying to make is that you say their show is smutty, and the things you're describing to me seem more artistic.
Well, until you know what it is that you're talking about.
But you've never seen the show.
I have said to you that I have a great many friends who have.
All right, hold on. 1-800-449-8686. Yvette, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show.
Yeah, my only comment is to this gentleman is, how can he possibly say all these things about these women and he hasn't seen the show?
Well, wait a second. I don't need to stick my you-know-what into a meat grinder to know that it's going to hurt.
But you know what? But that's the whole thing. Now, see, there you go. You know what? Is that not in a form of artistic expression that you just utilize right there?
No, ma'am, I'm trying to be respectful of the fact that I'm on a radio station. I'm not going to say the word.
Right, but at the same time, here's a perfect example. You're attacking the Dixie Chicks, but you don't even know their names or who they are.
I know Natalie Maines is the lead singer, and she's the one that allegedly rubs herself on on the mic stand.
Well, the lady's making a point. You haven't seen this.
Mr. Hendrie, I can't look at every filthy act out there. We've got a clearinghouse.
No, you're right. But you can make a comment and a statement about every filthy act. But you can't say anything? That doesn't make any sense.
No, the Dixie chicks made a big comment about President Bush being a piece of you-know-what, or they were afraid that he was born in Texas. Well, I've been following the Dixie Chicks for 4 years, and we're familiar with their stage act as being you're up to your ears in filth when you walk in there.
But you've been watching the Dixie Chicks for 4 years.
Yes, we have been following them.
At no point whatsoever have you ever seen the show, but you have the right to make the comment about freedom of speech and a comment made.
Yes.
So do you not think that you're taking it out of proportion, the context of what they said, to make this a bigger issue for your own personal agenda?
No, ma'am, because every other music genre has brought sex into the music because the record industry is in the toilet, the rap and the pop and all of the other nonsense. No one wants to buy it. And here come these Dixie Chicks. Huh?
But that seems to be like discriminatory remarks on the rap and the pop. Are they not artists just as well as everybody else?
Well,
I mean, what was everybody saying about the sexual contents of Elvis Presley? And look at him now. He's a legend.
Elvis Presley was a pill-popping. He had diarrhea or whatever he had, that problem with his colon. These guys are...
Can we, you know what, if I could jump in here, Mr. Wireman, because I think, you're maybe drifting a little bit.
All right.
The lady is saying something that I think is the absolute core of this argument. You can't criticize or censor if you haven't seen it, and you represent, I must say, a great many people in the country today who want things censored that they've never seen.
I don't need to see it because I know you can smell garbage a mile away, Mr. Hendrie. You don't have to run up to the pile and start sifting through it for T-bones.
So it's okay for us to say that you're not a good attorney and that your statements are incorrect and that your reputation isn't good, considering the fact I've never met you, but it's all right for me to go publicly and say that?
Of course not, because you don't know.
But that's what you're doing with the Dixie Chicks, but it doesn't apply to you.
At least I'm not taking...
It applies to them.
Ma'am, you can't say that Harvey Wireman walks into a courtroom and takes his clothes off and
But you're saying that about the Dixie Chicks and you haven't seen them.
No, wait a second. What you're saying is that you can't make a comment about me even though you don't know me. And I'm saying that have you ever heard...
But that's what you're doing with reference to the Dixie Chicks.
Because people... Have you ever heard that Harvey Wireman went into a courtroom and stuck his bare butt in the judge's face? No.
But even if I heard it, I'm not going to make an assumption.
Exactly.
For it.
Exactly. I could start that rumor right now, and
exactly.
Yeah, and people might start saying Harvey Wireman, attorney of San Marino, California, strips in the courtroom, and they might just bar you. They might have you put away.
Country music. Look at country.
But you know what you're doing? The bottom line is you're making them more famous than what they already are, and you're helping that out.
No, Jesus H. Christ. I said to the...
Just look at that. Look at the language you just used.
What?
What language is that, Jesus H. Christ?
Well, you know something. That's the name of the Christian God, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's said in a slang and angry way.
Country music is dead in the water. So the Dixie Chicks have found a way to sell records, and that's by bending over and showing everything.
Well, I don't know what you mean. Yvette, I want to thank you for your call.
But the lady misunderstands.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. 1-800-449-8686. And let's go over to Christine. Christine, you're on the Phil Hendrie Show with Harvey Wireman.
Hello?
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, Harvey?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just want to say I cannot disagree more with you. I've seen the Dixie Chicks show. It's been televised on Much Music.
Uh-huh.
And it's quite a decent family show, and it's quite entertaining.
On the television, of course. I'm talking about the private performances that they give for people in these large arenas.
And I read the newspapers after the shows the next day, and every single qualified and reputable editor gives them great reviews.
Of course.
No one has mentioned, you're the first person.
Let me ask you a question then. Why is it when the Dixie Chicks go on the TV, it's pay-per-view? The reason is because of the underwear and this nonsense.
Well, wait a minute. The reason why it's pay-per-view is because the Dixie Chicks command a fairly high price to be seen.
Well, wait a second. Who is the greatest singer that ever was?
I don't know.
Well, it's Frank Sinatra. I could see him on television for free any GD day I wanted to.
And their shows are not censored in any ways. Not at all.
But the Dixie Chicks are seen, and you can't sniff a show of theirs unless you got about $68 for the pay-per-view. So Christine...
Well, look, Christine's been to the show. She's seen the Dixie Chicks. There's no pornography, right, Christine?
No.
There is no nudity.
No, it's a family show.
Well, is there suggestive dancing? Does anybody rub themselves?
No, I don't know what show Harvey's been looking at. Oh, if it's just making all this stuff up, it just sounds ludicrous.
I'm not making... Have you ever seen Minnie Pearl grab herself down there? No, you haven't. But the Dixie...
I mean, they're certainly more trendy than
well, that's what I'm talking
about.
Well, just because they're trendy doesn't mean that they're grabbing themselves.
No. What I'm saying is I think you're stretching this. Yes, they're more trendy and they're fresher, younger approach.
Are you...
But I don't see them...
Well, can I ask you a question, dear? Are you from the United States of America?
No, I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Well, you see, Canada's way more permissive with what they allow in the theater. Down here, you can't go for that. Canadians will put up with a guy standing on stage singing a hillbilly song and spreading it for everybody. But down here, Americans don't like that.
Well, if Americans don't like it, they're selling out the Dixie... And by the way, their name is Dixie Chicks, not the Dixie Chicks.
Mr. Hendrie...
I don't mean to be disrespectful, sir, but I've heard you mispronounce it. Thank you, Christine, for your call.
Okay, you're welcome.
All right, 1-800-449... 8686 1-800-449-8686. Mr. Harvey Wireman, a media watchdog attorney, says the Dixie Chicks stage show is pornographic and is warning people to stay away from it tonight in Greenville, South Carolina. Phil Hendrie Show.
Told me that.
All right, well, we're back on the air. 1-800-449-8686. Harvey Wireman, media watchdog attorney, claiming that the Dixie Chicks show is a pornographic show and that it is a program a show that needs to be monitored, and that the Dixie Chicks being unpatriotic is just the beginning of their problems. And we are taking phone calls. You've never seen one of their shows, and yet you have cited sources of other people. Who else has seen the Dixie Chicks show and claimed that it's a pornographic show?
Well, people, Phil, whose opinions that other people respect. I'm talking about Art Waterhouse, who writes an entertainment column in Las Vegas. Dorian Fisher, who's the broadcast critic for the Web Newspaper Syndicate. Betty Firestone of the Union Press, and there are others. People are beginning to realize that the
Dixie Chicks.
I'm sorry. I had a stroke 3 years ago. The Dancing Chicks controversy isn't going to go away because there's so much filth underneath the veneer of these women.
All right. 1-800-449-8686. Walter, go ahead. You're on the Phil Hendrie Show. Walter, turn that radio down for me. Let me go over to Kiana. Kiana, go ahead.
All right.
Would you have that gentleman turn his radio down? Go ahead, Kiana.
First of all, it's the Dixie Chicks. It's not whatever you
I understand, but it's difficult for me to form certain words because of a stroke that I had.
Okay. Well, second of all, you're sitting here talking about how provocative they are, yet did you see Britney Spears and the rest of those girls, Christina Aguilera, other artists, stripping half of their clothes off on their CD covers when on the front of a Dixie Chicks CD cover you see feet?
Well, dear, first of all, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera are a far sight nicer to look at, I think, than the
well, that's your own personal opinion. So
all right,
just because they're nicer to look at.
You know, the little fat one in the middle. But let's
forget about how the women look. Now you're being sexist on top of everything else.
Exactly.
Wait.
doesn't really matter how they look. The Dixie Chicks' faces are beautiful, and they top Britney Spears. And Britney Spears, half of her body is fake, and that's probably why you like it. These girls are totally natural, and all they want to do is perform.
And I think they're attractive women. And
you like them large like that?
Personally, yes, but that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It has nothing to do with your situation.
What we're talking about here, sir.
You're sitting here, sir. You're telling us.
Look, young girls want to emulate the Dixie Chicks, and how are these parents going to feel when their daughters come home from a Dixie concert and they want to go to school with no underwear on?
It's not that they're going to do that. Kids don't do that. I mean, yes, kids go to school, they look at Britney Spears. How do kids explain why they want to wear absolutely no clothes? I think no underwear is better than no clothes.
Well, my point is that the Britney Spears is a tasteful and artistic dance rendition, and it's not just rubbing your butt on a mic stand.
You don't even know. I've gone to a show. Just because you've heard about it, there's a lot of rumors that go around that people hear about. That's how rumors get started. But you know what? I've been to a show, so you might want to check your sources.
All right, let me ask you a question, because this is how it happens. When you went to that Dixie Chick show, did you go to the ladies' room?
Yes.
Okay. At the time you were in the ladies' room, she could have been rubbing her big butt on that mic stand.
I think my friends would have told me.
Yeah.
Well, why would they tell you? Because it's part of the show.
Why wouldn't they tell me? Well, they would have said something because they know that's not the Dixie Chicks' behavior.
Look, You're
hearing rumors and you're going off what you hear. Maybe you need to actually go to a concert, pay the money, whether you like the band or not, and see it for yourself that you're making no sense.
And the other thing is that I think you made a very good point, Cayenne, about Britney and about Christina Aguilera and Pink, or whoever you want to mention, being women who are far more sexually charged.
Well, wait a second. When you talk about Pink or any of the Dixlin Chicks go on stage together like a bunch of lesbians. You see what I'm saying?
How about the way Britney Spears and the rest of the dancers dance on their guys? Come on.
At least it's heterosexual sex and not free butter hogs.
So now, not only are you being sexist, you're being racist towards gays and lesbians.
Exactly.
Racist towards gays? Well, huh?
Because you just said it's okay for a guy and a girl to be up on stage doing that, but it's not okay for two girls.
Wait a second. Are you trying to tell me that you want to see two guys going at it like Adam and Steve?
I never said
in the love dance?
Wait, but I never said anything about two guys.
Well, I will tell you that the Dixie Chicks going at it like they're having sex in an alley behind a rendering plant, in my mind, is.
But have you seen that happen before? Have you seen that happen before?
What?
Have you seen the Dixie Chicks getting it on before? No, you haven't, because you've never been to a show.
Exactly. Kayana, thank you for your call. 1-800-449-8686. Walter, go ahead.
Yeah, this guy needs his watchdog license taken away from him, because he's totally not in touch with whatever the hell he's talking about.
Oh, you sound like a real country music fan.
No, I'm not. Hey, I'm going to tell you, I'm not even a country western fan, but I tell you what, I do know the Dixie Chicks. I have heard their music, and I happen to like some of it. She just spoke her mind, which is being American, and which I think that you're not being, because for one, you tell that other lady because she's from Canada, and you're going to speak for me and tell me that the Americans don't like what they do. You're not speaking for me. I'm American, okay?
Wait a second.
Born and raised here.
It's the Dixlin Chicks. They get up on stage.
No. First of all, you don't even need to be talking. It's the Dixie Chicks. And if you can't remember that, you need to quit trying to be a watchdog. You need to go watch something else, something that you can remember.
That's a good point. You can't even remember that.
I told you that, but it's difficult for me to form the word.
I don't care. If it's difficult for you to form the words, then you don't need to be discussing the words then.
Well, I'll tell you
that simple.
These two.
Your watchdog license needs to be revoked because you're out of touch with everything, okay?
Sir, are you a father? Are you a father?
Yes, I'm a father.
All right. Do you want your daughter looking at the Dindling Chicks? Do you want them to go and see them, and with the little fat one in the middle, they look like a pork loin sandwich?
Well, look, that's beside the point. If my daughters are old enough to make up their mind what they want to see, if they didn't like that stuff, that would be up to them. And if I didn't like it, that would be up to me. But for you to be sitting up there talking the stupid stuff that you're talking about, it's just place. You know what I mean? You really ought to hear yourself. You're really making yourself sound stupid.
Sir, the Duxleys have a thong full of $1 bills by the end of the show.
You know what? And just because if anybody's ever hear all this stuff, matter of fact, if I could be, I'm a truck driver. If I could be in where they're performing at, I would go just behind your stupidness.
Wait a second. Every dollar you give to the dangling chicks, they're going to the...
Now it's the dangling chicks. Why did you... It's called the Dixie Chicks, because they come from the South.
I don't care where they come from.
Both of you guys are really starting to tighten my jaws.
Well, you know what? I hope your jaws lock up on you, because there's something definitely wrong with you.
What's wrong with me? All I'm trying to say is that these women are up on stage hunching a mic stand.
No. You go on by, you said you haven't even seen this. I have seen them perform, and that ain't the kind, that's not even where they're from. You ain't going to even get me to believe no stuff like that.
Can I tell you, Joe?
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice to you.
I appreciate that, but listen, I want to tell both you guys something.
What?
I want to tell you, Phil, and you, Walter, something. That for the last 45 minutes, I've been putting you on because I'm actually the president of the Los Angeles area Dixie Chicks fan club, and I'm just trying to promote their show tonight.
You need a whooping.
What?
You need a whooping. That's what you need.
You want to kick my ass?
Yeah, I'd like to kick your ass.
Hey, I don't necessarily want to kick your ass, but you need a whooping.
Why? Because I'm a Duckley chick fan?
Duckley chick.
Because you get on, because you're that.
Yeah, that's all you did. For 45 minutes, you shoveled horse manure.
Yeah, I just pulled over from trying to make a living.
Hey, Walter,
this stupid stuff, and somebody's not going to get what they got coming because of you.
Listen to this. It's my favorite Duxley chick song. Wide open spaces, room to make a big mistake. Yeah.
He costing me money.
What an idiot. This guy is putting me on for 40 minutes.
Wide open spaces. Walter. Man. Oh, I got to go to the bathroom.
Would you please check out these guests first before you put them on my show? For 45 minutes, the Dixie Chicks hunch a mic stand on stage. The guy's the president of the Los Angeles area Dixie Chicks fan club. Then he sings Wide Open Spaces like he's still having that stroke. 1-800-449-8686. Hey, Walter, what is the name of that group?
That's the Darky Chicks.
The Darky Chicks now. 1-800-449-8686, Phil Hendrie Show.
The Phil Hendrie Show, 1-800-449-8686. Rather be playing Grand Theft Auto.
Retard.
Traffic.
Of senior groups, Harvey. This has to do with what I thought was pretty good news. You're talking specifically about the old man, the elderly man, or the senior citizen who climbed El Capitan?
Well, yes, Phil, and good evening.
Good evening to you.
And thank you for having me on your program. I want to bring to people's attention something that really got me just wound up in knots this morning. I opened up the newspaper, and I see this story about an 81-year-old man who had climbed El Capitan, which is a rock face at Yosemite National Park, and he did this for the second time. And he apparently is the oldest person to ever do this. Now, I read this story, and I just about dropped the newspaper in my breakfast, because for years and years, people such as myself and other people who advocate on behalf of senior citizens have worked very hard and very long to ensure that seniors are treated like everybody else. We have tried to let people know that there's nothing unusual or special about us, that we can do the job just as good as anybody else, that we can be citizens like anybody else, equally committed to various careers, that we should be allowed to be in the world like everyone else. We don't want to be seen as some kind of a freak show. And what they did, and when I read this, I just about fell out of my chair. So after all of the work that I have done and that many like me have done on behalf of the National Seniors Association, Seniors in Action, the Gray Panthers, and all the organizations that I've given my time and effort to, and now we open up a newspaper, and here we are, the freak show again. Now,
well, I'm missing something here.
Well, you're missing something because you're not letting me finish my point. My point is...
All right, finish your point. I don't see what you're upset about seeing this.
Let me just finish what I want to say. This guy, Jerry Block, is the name of this old guy, who willingly gives out interviews to the newspapers, makes a big goddamn deal about going up the side of this mountain. It's got his old kissers splattered all over the newspapers, okay? This is exactly the kind of thing that we have worked very, very hard to put a stop to, okay? When you look at these old bastards, I'll tell you something.
Let me interrupt you for just a minute. Are you saying this is bad? I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm saying that the attention paid to this makes us look like we're some kind of a goddamn freak show. We're like that, who's that Carrot Top son of a bitch? And all of the big
Carrot Top?
Well, all of these freak guys, these assholes that get on television, like the Carrot Top son of a bitch. What I'm trying to say is we're no different, right, than anybody else. And the newspaper and broadcast media are culpable in what I call the freaking down of senior citizens, like we're some kind of 28-year-old virgins or that Carrot Top son of a bitch. I am filing on behalf of senior citizens, and I will go into Superior Court tomorrow morning, a class action lawsuit, $300 million on behalf of seniors.
Whoa, come on.
No, I'm not fooling around.
$300 million for what? Because they make senior citizens, because they pointed out a man's achievement? Because
let me ask you something, because you're a talk show host, and I know that you know everything, and I'm just a stupid son of a bitch of a lawyer who only lived 78 years.
I'm not saying you're stupid, Harvey. Please don't go down that road.
All right, well, let me ask you, though, as the big talk show host. God damn it, I forgot what I was going to say. No, I forgot what I was going to say. You pissed me off.
All right, we'll go on to another point. I don't know what you wanted to ask me. What I was talking about was the fact that this man did a great thing.
I remember. Would they be making as big a deal out of this if it was some 28-year-old kid? Or if it was some 30-year-old man or so, would they be making a bigger deal out of it as this?
No, probably they wouldn't.
All right, how tall is this goddamn mountain anyway?
I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you something. People climb the goddamn thing all the time. They're going up and down that goddamn thing like they're going to take a dump someplace. It's no big deal. It's like it's a stripper's pole. They're going up and down that thing. So now, because an 81-year-old guy does it, they make a big deal out of it.
And you think that because they're making a big deal out of it, it is the, what did you call it? Because I wrote it down, the freaking down of senior citizens?
It makes us look like we're weird. Like, oh my God, look at this. An 81-year-old guy climbed up El Capitan like he's that Carrot Top son of a bitch. Or he's like one of these freaks. So Gallagher can kiss my ass, that freak bastard, as far as I'm concerned. I am a regular citizen. I pay my taxes. I put my pants on one leg at a time as like everybody else, and I can climb up El Capitan or any other goddamn thing.
Well, hold on for a minute, Harvey, because this is the oldest guy to have ever done it. So to say that it's not a special achievement is wrong.
And to say that it is a special achievement, see, now you start to piss me off. To
I don't want to piss you off, but you're saying it flies in the face of the facts that this is the oldest guy to have ever done it, so it is noteworthy.
So what are you saying then?
That it is noteworthy that an 81-year-old guy climbed up El Capitan.
No, so you don't even know what you're saying, so let me tell you what you're saying.
Go ahead.
You're saying that because an 81-year-old guy went up it, that it's unusual, and it's unusual for old people to be able to climb this mountain or to be able to achieve a feat like this, and so therefore we're right back at square one. We're a bunch of weirdos who can't do what everybody else does, and when we do something like this, oh my Christ, look at that. Some 81-year-old guy, this guy Jerry Blockhead or whatever his name is. Was it
Jerry Block is the gentleman's name, okay?
All right, well, oh Christ, look at this. An old guy did something special. And so it makes us all look like a bunch of freaks. It makes us look like the Carrot Top son of a bitch or any of these.
What is it with you and this Carrot Top, okay? I mean, look.
I'll tell you something. I'd love to take this guy for a ride in my trunk, is how I feel about the guy. Because
you're pissed off because this guy went up the mountain or because he got a lot of publicity?
Because he allowed his kisser to be splattered all over the newspapers. And the broadcast media manipulated and exploited this man based upon his age. And it's like saying, oh, look at this, a black guy. What do you think would happen if a black guy went up the mountain?
How old would he be?
Well, it doesn't make any goddamn difference. The point is that...
No, it makes a lot of difference. How old would he be if a black guy went up the mountain?
No, the point is, Phil, they're making a spectacle out of this elderly man when, in point of fact, it should not have been newsworthy. He should just have gone up the goddamn mountain and come down again and not made a big deal out of it. And that's why I feel we're justified in attacking the broadcast media and newsprint and make them culpable in a class action lawsuit, because I think what they've done is...
What is the actual base of the lawsuit? What do you think has happened?
We've been libeled.
They've libeled senior citizens?
They have libeled a generation of senior citizens by making this a big deal. The Jerry Block boy, just climb the mountain and shut up. That's my whole point. Go up the mountain, come down the mountain, shut up. And if you want to go back up the goddamn thing, do it again. Just don't have your big fat mouth open while you're doing it.
And I will tell you, you're very angry. I don't want to minimize your feelings, okay? I think it's a wonderful thing what the guy did.
Hey, Jerry, stop being such a media whore. Go up your goddamn mountain, come down your goddamn mountain, and don't be a freak like the Carrot Top son of a bitch. Go up the mountain, take your crap, take your pictures, come down the mountain. You know, what do you do? Let me ask you, what do you do when you go up a mountain anyway?
I guess you take pictures and you plant a flag and you make yourself very proud.
Well, you know what he did? He was, hey, everybody, look at me. I'm a media whore. And
all right, so there is nothing noteworthy about an 81-year-old man climbing El Capitan.
No more than if it was a 28-year-old man. Now, if this had been a mountain that had never been climbed before, and it had been assaulted by a variety of people, then I'd say, well, that's newsworthy. But because this goddamn mountain gets climbed 50 times a day by all kinds of jackballs, it's no big deal that this guy went up it. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I've been working against, so that we're not looking like freaks.
And so you would rather then have had this man climb the mountain and have nobody say anything about it?
That's right. So long as other assholes are climbing the mountain, nobody say anything about it. What are they making this guy climb the mountain and say something about it? That's the whole point. So it is libelous, and it is exploitive, and it's wrong, I think, for them to make a big deal out of this.
Why are you so angry about this?
What?
Why are you so angry about it?
Look, Phil, I've spent 40 goddamn years of my life working on behalf of senior citizens' rights, okay? Look, this mountain's been climbed so often it's got stairs. Do you know that goddamn mountain has stairs?
What, okay? You're kidding.
No, I'm not. Son of a bitch went upstairs. That's how often they went. So at 81-year-old
El Capitan. Bing, have you been up to Yosemite?
Don't ask that Bing asshole. I know.
You're telling me that El Capitan has stairs?
Yes. That's what I'm telling you. I spent the last 20 years of my life being old. I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of being compared to that carrot top son of a bitch and every other freak that comes down the pike. Okay? So,
well, there's guy. You know what? I didn't. If it has stairs, then you're right. It isn't that much of a feat. Okay.
Well, what difference does it make if it has stairs or not stairs? It's not a big deal. Okay, it's got stairs. It's got a rope ladder. Any asshole can climb El Capitan.
I didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know. You gotta shut up and listen.
Okay, it's one of my faults. I don't shut up. I mean, I guess because I'm the talk show host.
Yeah, you're the talk show host, and you gotta keep talking, and you don't know what you're talking about.
El Capitan has stairs and a rope ladder.
Yes. So, this guy, Jerry Block, good for you, Jerry. You walked up some stairs. Christ. You think it's funny, but it pisses me off.
All right, hold on. 1-800-5201-KFI in Orange County, 5201-KFI in LA County. Well, Harvey's point is, 81-year-old guy, 28-year-old guy, 35-year-old guy, what difference does it make? If everybody's been up that mountain, why should they make a big deal about an 80-year-old guy going up that mountain? He wants to sue, though. I guess if you're, 78 years old or 80 years old, you live with these issues every day, man, it's going to be a big deal. 1-800-5201-KFI in Orange County, 5201-KFI in LA County. Phil Hendrie Show on KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Alan LeGreen now at the KFI Traffic Center.
All right, Phil Sigler. Phil Hendrie.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Phil Hendrie Show. So an 81-year-old man scaled El Capitan. His name is Jerry Block. He is the oldest person to do it. He's done it twice. And on the line with me is lawyer, attorney at law, Harvey Wireman, who advocates on behalf of senior citizen rights. And he is angry that this has received so much publicity. Now, I know the point that you're making, that if a senior citizen climbs El Capitan, it shouldn't be noteworthy, correct?
That is correct, yes.
All right, so in other words, you're saying that when seniors do things, it should be unnoticed?
Yes, that's the point, for Christ's sake. When you make people into specialists, into special cases, it's like these poor Special Olympics kids. You make a big goddamn deal out of what they do. Well, that means that suddenly they're not like us, right? And
well, no, it's saying that they achieved something that the kids like that were not able to achieve.
Hey, Phil, can you send out a notice to your news department? I just walked upstairs. Okay? Could you give me the number to...
All right, now you're being a smartass.
No, really, no. Hey, news department, this is Harvey Wireman. I just got up out of my chair and took I had a bowel movement. Okay? Let me prepare my press release here. I'm going to write it down.
All right, I know the point you're making, okay?
No, wait a minute. Let me write my press release here. To the news department, KFI, and all related news sources.
I know the point you're making.
West Rosemary, 52499, Los Angeles, California. Dateline, Los Angeles. Harvey Wireman, 78 years of age, had a normal bowel movement today. As of 8 p.m., right after his dinner of cheese. How about that? I had nothing but cheese. H. Wireman takes dump in upstairs bathroom. So what I did, Phil, was I walked up the stairs and had a healthy bowel movement. What about that? And I decided not to use my downstairs bathroom. So what
you're saying is, big deal, so why should we even make a thing out of it?
That's my point, Phil. And when you look at these guys, you know what I'd like to do? You got any senior citizens calling in?
No, I do not have any senior citizens calling in, okay?
Well, I'd love to see, why don't you get them to call?
Okay, all you senior citizens, call in if you want to be part of Harvey's class action lawsuit to sue all the news media for making you guys look like freaks.
And that carrot top son of a bitch.
And that carrot top son of a bitch.
What are you laughing about?
What are you picking on him for, man?
I don't like being lumped in with these freak shows like Gallagher and that goddamn Ricky Martin and the carrot top. Now, did you get my press release?
Yeah, I got your press release.
Read it back to me.
Harvey Wireman, Dateline, Los Angeles.
524.99.
524.99, Dateline, Los Angeles. Harvey Wireman, 78 years of age, walked upstairs to the upstairs bathroom tonight and had a normal bowel movement after eating a dinner of solid cheese. Is that it?
That's correct. You got it. Now, I'm going to tell you, that'll be splashed all over the front pages. Because if I can do that, then you can give that guy the publicity you want. Let me get serious for a minute, Phil.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
No, seriously. All of these assholes starting with Jack LaLanne, all the way on down to that goddamn juice man. You know what they do? They make it seem like a big goddamn deal that old people can take a dump normally, can get out of bed in the morning, and can do the things that other people do. I don't think that LaLanne, and this LaLanne asshole, you know what I'm talking about?
Look, I wish you would stop using the word. Jack LaLanne is a beloved fixture here in Southern California. He's done a lot of good for a lot of people.
Well, you know, see here, beloved this, Phil. The point I'm trying to make is...
Okay, you know what I'm saying, that the man is respected, all right? So go easy, all right?
I'll go easy on LaLanne. You know, I'll go easy on the guy. But every goddamn year, he's towing a tugboat with his teeth, for Christ's sake. You want me to go easy on the guy? What is with this guy and his tugboats?
This is him proving that an older man like him can go out and do something special.
Look, Phil, nobody says that older people can't do anything special. Why do you got to make a spectacle out of yourself? That LaLanne gets out there pulling a goddamn tugboat. It might as well be that Carrot Top son of a bitch pulling the freaking Titanic, for all I care. But young people don't tow tugboats with their freaking teeth, so why do you make a bit? And Angela Lansbury did some goddamn exercise video. For Christ's sake, what is that about? All I'm trying to say is, calm down. Let's treat senior citizens like they're like everybody else. Let's not make a big deal out of what we do. And by way of a postscript on my time with you, Phil, I'd love to kick the juice man's ass. Okay, Phil? So, by the way, I got another press release coming up.
Yeah, what's that going to be?
I'm going up to take another dump. That'll be 2 in one day. A new world's record for a 78-year-old man after eating sharp New York cheddar cheese all day. Okay, Phil?
Harvey, your sarcasm, while appreciated, is unnecessary, okay? I think we got the point.
Yeah, you got the point. When you see my lawsuit, you'll get my goddamn point. And if I see one more Rue McClanahan aerobics video, I'm going to start throwing bodies at the front door of my house.
Who?
Rue McClanahan.
Who's she?
She was on that goddamn Golden Girls. You ever seen her?
Oh, so she's a senior citizen, right?
Yes.
Well, she's doing a video, man. What do you want from me? I mean...
I'm going to throw bodies out the front door.
All right. Do what you got to do, brother, all right? As far as I'm concerned, these are people who are trying to enrich their lives and make their lives better, okay?
Just don't make a news story out of it.
All right, we won't talk about it anymore if that makes you feel better. Jeez. Phil Hendrie Show on KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. You guys getting all bugged at the Juice Man and Jack LaLanne. And, oh, yeah, that Carrot Top son of a bitch. Jesus. Phil Hendrie Show, what do you want, man? What do you want?
I'll ask Terry Ray Elmer. She's not going to talk about my dump tonight, are you, Terry Ray?
About your what, Harvey?
Oh, I had a dump at 8 o'clock.
No.
Oh, no, it didn't make the wire?
Not in the news.
Oh, well, Christ. How about that?
All right, fine. Anyway, Terry Ray...
Nothing about the sewers in San Marino being impacted by what you did.
By all that cheese. Here is the news now, brought to you by Martinelli's Gold Medal Apple Juice and Sparkling Cider from fresh apples since 1868. Terry Ray Elmer in the KFI News Center.
Phil Hendrie.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Harvey Wireman is with us. He's an attorney working in San Marino on behalf of senior citizens. I think we've gone far afield here. You're talking about an 81-year-old guy climbing up the side of El Capitan as being an insult to senior citizens.
And I didn't say it was an insult, Phil. I said that the publicity around it is overkill because it makes us look like, again, it makes us look like goddamn freaks.
Yeah, but you've been going down this freak road. You don't want to look like a freak.
Well, because senior citizens are not freaks. We're just like everybody else. We can do things that everybody else can do. We're not like the Carrot Top son of a bitch and that Robert Goulet asshole that I see. That
Robert Goulet?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. These guys that are, they're old, but they keep on, that I told you about that Ricky Martin. You know who this guy that does the voices, Rich Little? And
yeah, Rich Little. He was on Carson a lot, and
yeah, you know what? Give it up for Christ's sake. I can't stand guys that do voices to begin with. Any guy that does voices gives me a royal pain in the ass. Okay? Hey, Rich, Die. Just die. Go away. And when you make a big deal out of a senior citizen,
Rich Little should die? This is a great entertainer, for crying out loud. What's wrong with you?
I'm making a point about how when a senior citizen does something, you make him into a big freak show like the Carrot Top son of a bitch. Let me ask you, who are the two? I'm trying to think because I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago. Who are those two nutsuckers with the Tigers? What? You know what I'm talking about? The two nutsuckers that have the Tigers up there.
Whereabouts?
In Vegas. Who are those guys?
What do you mean the two nutsuckers? Who are you talking about, man?
They do magic with the Tigers. The two nutsuckers. Is Scott Harasser there?
Yeah.
He'd know who they are. Ask him.
Scott, who are the two gentlemen?
The two nutsuckers.
Come on, will you? I don't know what you're talking about. Who are the two guys?
They're a couple of Austrian nutsuckers.
Will you stop it? Who are the two guys in with the Tigers? I don't know anything about Vegas. What are they called? The two guys with the Tigers. Who? Is it Siegfried and Roy?
There you go. Those are the two nutsuckers. These guys, it's like what I'm talking about. See, Scott did know. Now, I was going to say, I think that it's just a matter of making sure.
By the way, I don't like the appellations that, I don't like these terms that you're using, that you're throwing around here.
What, Austrian nutsuckers?
Will you, please?
Think I've worked that joke?
Yeah, you've worked that joke to death, all right? Look, if they're freaks, they're freaks. If a senior citizen goes up, up a mountain or something, or does something extraordinary, you know what? It's going to make news because you don't get a lot of 81-year-old guys doing it, okay?
Let me see who else made my nutsucker list.
Okay, stop it. And if a senior citizen does something extraordinary, then it's something that ought to be made, made into news as far as I'm concerned. So that's what I'm saying.
What about Joan Collins?
What about her? Are you talking about freaks?
Yeah, I'm talking about these people that are, constantly in the news and everything. I mentioned that juice bastard. Why doesn't Joan Collins get old, for Christ's sake? And Buddy Hackett. Just exactly what freight train did he kiss with a kiss? And here's another one for you. Buddy Hackett.
You already said that.
All right, well, let me mention Buddy Hackett.
Okay. Thanks so much for your call.
Are you hanging up?
Yeah, I think we worked all the material there.
Well, let me get. You didn't like the nutsucker?
Yeah, goodbye. Buddy Hackett. What is Buddy Hackett? Oh, is he coming? Oh, yeah, I know who that guy is. Is he still playing Vegas? Really? He's a pretty funny guy, don't you think? No? Well, he was in his day, or whatever that day was. I saw him in a couple of movies with Mickey Rooney, stuff like that. I don't know who he is. Ain't the guy with the funny-looking mouth? Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, that's it. Mickey Rooney and whatever, okay. I don't know anything about Buddy Hackett. I'm trying to pretend like I do. I don't know anything about him. What do you want, okay?
Mickey Rooney, there's a nutsucker. Now,
thank you very much for your call. Buddy Hackett looks like a fat Don Elliott. What the hell are you talking about, man? Who have you seen in Vegas? Have you been to any shows in Vegas? I went and I saw... Excuse me. I went and saw Carlin recently. You haven't seen one show? What? Not any single performer? You guys go and see Cirque du Soleil all the time, don't you? All I ever do when I go to... You go every time you go to Vegas, man. You go to Cirque du Soleil. You do. Earth, Wind, and Fire. I only see comics when I go to Vegas. So the only guys that I ever see are like comics. That's it. And I can't remember the ones that... I think I saw... I saw Rickles. Yeah. Saw Carlin. Saw... God, who else did I see there? Yeah, I think I saw Rich Little, speak of the devil. Don Rickles is still very funny. Saw... I can't remember, man. But every time I go to Vegas, if we go to a show, that's the only thing I ever see is a damn comic. I don't go see anybody else. Yeah, I know you guys, you do that Cirque du Soleil thing. Didn't you go see Danny Gans? You said that was the greatest thing you ever saw in your life. Yes, you did. You see Siegfried and Roy? You did not see Danny Gans? Well, I know you went up and saw Wayne Newton or somebody. I actually, a friend of mine came back, and I know Wayne Newton doesn't play Vegas anymore, does he? Or much? Or maybe not any. I don't. Maybe he does. I didn't see any hotel with his name on it. Maybe he does. A friend of mine went up and saw Wayne Newton And this is like when we were in our 20s. I mean, I was like 28 or 29. He comes back, he says, I hope you don't throw me out of your house, but I'm about to say something that you may throw me out of your house for. I said, what? I went and I saw Wayne Newton, and he was fantastic. I said, you're kidding? No. He said, it was fantastic. He threw his underwear on stage. That's how good it was. Wayne Newton threw his own underwear on stage before he came out. Just before he came out, he tossed his underwear on stage and then came out. Oh, you saw Cirque du Soleil in Santa Monica? Well, I know you guys are big fans. I don't mean to make fun or anything. Yeah. I wanted to see Danny Yans. I went to the Rio, but couldn't get a ticket for that show. Something to do with the hotel wouldn't comp me one. Handel gets stuff comped all the time. I don't know how he does it. I'm cheap, and I know it, but... So anyway, that's the story of that. So, you know what? Go and climb all the mountains you want, pal. It's fine with me, all right? I mean, go and climb. And Harvey, you keep on having those bowel movements at 8 o'clock every night, man. And it'll make the headlines in the L.A. Times one of these days. Anyway, what do you want, man? Okay, I've hung up on you 3 times.
Well, let me ask you a question.
What?
When exactly, if you don't mind telling me, seriously, did you become a nutsucker? Because...
Okay, man, we got it. I got it. I get it. 1-800-5201-KFI in Orange County, 5201-KFI in L.A. County. So Hendrie Show here on KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. And now let's go to Alan LeGree in the KFI Traffic Center. And right to Phil and El.
So I've inspired Mark Newman to go and get McDonald's as he's leaving. Harvey Wireman is standing by. Harvey, you all right?
I'm fine. I just wish you'd get this GD show.
I'll be with you in a minute here, man. You got your law talk?
Yeah, I got my law talk.
Sorry. Harvey? Take it away, brother. Oh, wait, that's your cell phone. Sorry, man. Will you get my... I got to get that call. So what's on tonight?
Oh, well, what is on tonight is the Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby is in trouble, Phil, as you know, as you were referencing earlier on your program.
Now, this is a woman that's accused him of sexually groping him or something?
Yes, let me tell you the particulars of this story, Phil, because as an attorney, and even though I'm retired, I do deal with some employment issues, and this really comes under the heading of employment issues, on-the-job lawsuits, these kinds of things.
But this is a woman who's accused Bill Cosby of fondling her or sexual misconduct, not in the context of a job?
Well, I don't know what Mr. Cosby's capacity is at Temple University, but apparently he is mentoring a few young people there at the school and so forth. But again, it could be an employment issue. Now, the story begins here. The young lady, and I'm having a difficult time, Andy Kuhn.
No, Andrea Costand.
Oh, okay. Give me my glasses, will you?
All right.
Anyway, Bob Coonby, Bill, I'm sorry.
Bill Cosby.
Oh, yeah, Bill Cosby, because I'm reading from the story. I'm reading from the lawsuit. Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, I'm sorry, Phil. Bill Cosby has been accused by this lady of sucking a cone.
Sexual misconduct.
Oh,
Can you see?
You know, I'm having sexual misconduct. Can I get a glass of water?
Yeah.
All right, so her name is Ippy Coon Woman, isn't it?
Andrea Costin.
Oh, all right. She was accused by Bob Coon.
Bill Cosby's been accused by her.
Bill Cosby's been accused by her of cone sucking, of sexual misconduct.
Right.
Now, in an interview with the
Toronto Sun,
the accuser's father, Argonaut,
Andy Costin. Andy Costin says his daughter felt betrayed, someone she considered both a mentor and a great friend. Okay, I'm on a roll now. The police are reportedly concerned that Coon Woman Constant. Where do you get Coon Woman? I'm sorry. Constant, you're right. Constant. C-O-N-S-T-A-D-N. Or S-T-A-N-D. What's that spell? It doesn't spell Coon Woman, that's for sure. Well, I'm sorry. I waited more than a year to report the incident, I'm sorry. But her attorney said she was simply too frightened to come forward given Cubby's celebrity. Cosby. Bill Cosby. Oh, I'm sorry. Bill Cosby. Was a mentor. Was a mentor. Constant, a former University of Agoraphobia, Arizona, I'm sorry. Pack it up, Bugaboo, basketball star, was working in Temple University's Jew Haven. Gymnasium, man! Jew Haven. All right, okay. Buck Cornwall, Bill Cosby. You know what I think now? What? You're doing it on purpose. I finally got it. I'm not doing what am I doing on purpose? There isn't any way in hell you can get Coon Woman out of Constant, and there's no way that you get Buck Cornell out of Bill Cosby, but you did it. And I think you're doing it on purpose. Otherwise, your freaking Law Talk segment sucks eggs. How dare you say that about me? Well, are you doing it on purpose or aren't you? No, I'm not, Phil. I'm an old man, 81 years of age. I can barely see. I'm going blind as stark raving blind as the cataracts begin to just completely envelop my eyeballs. I'm sorry. You want to be my age? Be blind? Stone stark blind? Just grabbing walls and going, Phil? Phil, is it you at the door, Phil? I'm sorry. All right, now, Bill Cobbler was... Bill Cosby, man! Don't have to read it. I'm sorry. Big Cobbler. You knocked the copy out of my hand. I'm sorry, man. Boone... All right, what is his name? Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, who played... Here we go. Dr. Cloyne... Cookie. Cliff Huxtable. Oh. Was on NBC's top-rated The Coon Show. The Cosby Show! All right. See, yet that was on purpose. I've worked for the ACLU. You calling me a racist? Yes, I am. All right, that's it. I'm suing you and Tig Biddy. Who's he? Ain't he the guy on the coup? Bill Cosby. Sorry. This has been Law Talk with... Hey, how do you like this one? This has been Law Talk with Hickey Woo Woo Woo. Who's he? Ain't that how you pronounce your name? Buck Cornwall. World-famous Phil Hendrie Show. Be right back.
Phil Hendrie, 1-800-449-8686.
And now it's time for Harvey Wireman's Senior Chat. Join Harvey as he discusses the issues of the day with seniors just like you. Here's now Harvey Wireman.
Thank you, and good evening, and welcome to Senior Chat. And our question tonight will be, what odious political philosophy do you hold that people let you get away with because you're old and feeble and you look wise and dignified? And, of course, our prize tonight, just outstanding, year's membership at the KOA campgrounds, where you can plug in and they'll allow you to wash up. So if you're having a hard time finding a place to wash up and empty your sewage, as you travel around the country, you'll love to go. Oh, it's not, what is it again? It's not KOA? I love KOA.
No, it's not. It's just some other guy's thing.
Oh, it's Bill's Campgrounds. He's got 2 of them. So if you need to go somewhere to dump sewage and, wash your face and maybe rinse out your armpits, this would be great. Okay. So what filthy, odious, and unacceptable political philosophy do you espouse at family get-togethers, and they let you get away with it even though you're old, okay? Let's go to, this is Sadie. Hello, Sadie.
Hello, Harvey.
How are you, dear?
I'm wonderful. I have been a long time anti-Semite. I hate Jews. Always have, always will. And I go on and on and on about the Jew this and the Jew that every Christmas.
And the kids let you get away with it, don't they?
Oh, they don't dare say anything because right now, last time I checked, I'm worth about $15 million. And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, so, in property and bonds and everything. So they're not going to say anything now. And what was fun this year is they had one Jew couple came over. My son and my daughter-in-law have a Jew. They have a Jew.
Okay.
And he came with his wife, and so I went on and on about you people and how you extort money and all that. So it's hysterical to watch them go, would you like some more sweet potato pies? No, I want to continue talking about Jews. And,
well, that's wonderful. All right, dear, you hang on the line because you certainly have a great story there. All right, so what odious philosophy, what rotten, foul way of life do you have that you get away with because you're old? Bill?
Hey, Harvey, how you doing, old-timer? I talked to you last week.
Yeah, Bill, how you been?
I'm great. Ever since the war, of course, I got a thing for Japs. And it doesn't matter if he's Chinese or Korean. I just got to get the Jap out of here. And we had a guy come over, going to do some floor work for us. I said, if you're a Jap, get out. He said he was a Korean or something. I don't give a damn. I said, you're Jap now.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And so I hate him.
But you hate Japs.
I hate Japs. And my son, who is this is his 3rd marriage now. He's married to an Asian girl. He's married to this Jap, who I think she's Chinese, but I call her the Jap wife. I said, my son's coming over with the Jap. And I'll sit there at dinner and I'll talk about, how we used to carve the gold fillings out of the teeth of POWs, stuff like that, just to make her just a bugger.
Okay, well, that's a good one, especially since your son's married to a Jap.
And my philosophy, I get away with is beating the hell out of grandkids when they cry, too. I like that.
Okay, I got another guy hanging on the line with that. Hold on. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, Harvey?
Isn't that your whole thing?
Yeah, I tell all of my kids, I've got 4 of them. In my day, I used to beat you with a piece of leather strip or a piece of hose, hard rubber hose. And I said, why don't you do that to these kids, and they wouldn't watch so much television.
Well, that's a hell of a deal. What do they say?
Oh, they smile and go, oh, Grandpa Joe. But I said, if you kids were playing as much video games as I see these ones, I'd take a hard rubber hose and the handle of a broken rake and beat them. And I don't care if they arrest me and put me in jail.
Well, that's great. All right, you hang on. We got time for one more. Clara, go ahead.
Yeah, this is about my ex-husband, John. He loved to sexually molest children, and of course he always talked about it.
Okay, well,
No, doesn't that qualify?
No, that's not a philosophy of life. That's a... Good Lord. All right, one more. And, Tom, how are you?
I'm great. Listen, I like to get nurses to give me a sponge bath 4 times a day. I'll say, oh, God, I hurt, I'm aching. And it's just a sexual kick for me, and it disgusts the hell out of them, and I laugh.
Okay, is that it? Bob, you got just a few seconds.
Hi, Harvey. I'm not too fond of the Negro. They wear too much jewelry and they scare me.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we have, and you lay that on all of your...
Yeah, on all of my kids.
All right.
And they eat biscuits, too. That's pretty scary.
All right. Well, the winner tonight, though, I think is our first caller, Clara, who has a whole thing about Jews, and she isn't afraid to mention it at the holidays. All right. Well, next week, of course, we'll be back on to talk about department stores that you've driven your car through the plate glass window of. But until then, this is Harvey Wireman with Senior Chat.
Can I get on and I wanted to talk about how I don't bathe. Is it too late?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Senior Chat with Harvey Wireman. Brought to you by Quaker Oats.